welcome to Games with Web3 Enemies.
Shit.
This is...
Hi, I'm Lacey.
Hi, I'm Brad. Obviously, you know us from Metaintro. You've endured us all our videos all day, but now you're finally going to get us see, obviously, a cutthroat version of Jenga.
Yes.
I think we settled on that.
Yep.
And as we're doing this, and I have to say, throughout the day, it was hard. I think we had an advantage because maybe we had the questions and the other people were on the spot.
Totally.
And so, yeah, you could see a couple times, like, they would just be like, game over. So it was kind of fun because we got to win.
Yeah.
But now it'll be different. But we have an exciting announcement to make, which I don't know. Have we announced this to our community yet?
Here and there. It's also in the events tab. If you're actively in the community and you're always looking at the events tab, you'd see it feels like almost every day there's like a new event that's being added. But to put it on camera and to be able to talk about it is like a whole nother thing. So, big news, we will be hosting a few official job fairs, Web3 job fairs, in the next 60 days or so. IRL, yep. So we'll link everything down below in the description, but we will be at IWB in Washington, D.C. at the end of March, Fest in Atlanta at the end of March, Miami NFT Week at the very beginning of April, Scalefest in the middle of April, and Bitcoin 2023 in May.
Yeah, and I would say one of the things that, Lacey and I talk about this every single day. Our goal is obviously to reduce the time to hire, but what goes right alongside that, we want to help people get jobs in Web3 right now. We, of course, will help you land a job anywhere, but it's incredibly important that we're providing opportunities to our community, real opportunities, and when we kind of canvassed, let's say, the world for opportunities, this is a great opportunity for individuals to meet with companies that have real hiring needs in real life. And so we're actually going to try to tailor some of our product to servicing the before, so we can make sure that you're really matched with an employer and a potential employee, and hopefully that then you can have a face to a name. And that's so, obviously it's been hard with the pandemic. It's a little bit tougher in Web3. And so facilitating some of those interactions, I think, is going to be really cool.
Are you ready for the opportunity to get your ass kicked?
Let's go.
All right. I think also, do we want to put stakes on this or no? We didn't put stakes on this all day.
We didn't put stakes on it all day, but are we going to be any less competitive?
No.
All
right. But I do think, because we will be doing these videos going forward, and as you'll see on this playlist, we're talking to cool people that are building cool things at these conferences. What I'd like to do is, up here in the corner, you will now see a game tally that says Lacey and Brad, which will now be forever following us at all of these conferences.
We're going to have to put it on chain so it's official.
And we're playing the real way this time.
Oh, yeah. I did play the fake way.
Oh, my gosh. So the first event that's coming up, the International Women in Blockchain Conference at the end of March, we will be doing a few things there. So first, we'll have our own separate section filled with employers. I believe we'll have Chainalysis, Fidelity, Consensus, I think is going to be there. There's going to be a ton of great employers that are actively hiring. So you'll see a separate section dedicated just to us and employers that are actively hiring. There will also be a ton of great activations at the event. What we're trying to do with these events, that also includes our product, but we're trying to reimagine, if you will, the job fair.
Yeah.
Job fairs suck. There's a ton of anxiety around it. They're super stale. They're super corporate. And do people even get hired from these events? And so, you can talk a little bit about what we're thinking in terms of how to help people connect more efficiently at these fairs. But on top of it, our goal is, how do we take the anxiety out of these job fairs, and how do we get people actually hired from these IRL opportunities? Yeah,
I think it's about having a meaningful interaction with somebody at one of these events. What's usually tough is when you're having a first interaction, your guard is up, and you're always really trying to figure out, is this person real? Are they qualified? Is probably the most, thing that you're looking for in an initial interaction. If we can provide some proof that the individual is qualified for the job or has this set of skills and the employer is interested in speaking with them, it reduces some of that anxiety of, are we a match? And really, it's the quality of that match, because at the end of the day, we say that all these companies we're speaking with, you're going to go through your culture fit process. You're going to speak to multiple, depending upon the size of the company, multiple, entities within the organization, multiple people. That is, at least, maybe in the AI world, one of these days we can, replicate that process. I don't know. But I think right now that is just, that's a pipe dream, to be able to culture fit an individual in that. Hard skills that can be validated by a network is what we're after. And we're actively trying to implement those things so we can have those meaningful connections at these conferences.
So a lot of individuals that are listening are probably going to a Web3 conference for the first time. What are some things tips and tricks that we can give these individuals to be prepared, not necessarily just for the job fair, but like going to these conferences overall? Because these are super, super draining.
Yep.
You want to be prepared and prepared for anything, right? To network, to land a job, to find out about a cool product. There's so many components that go into it. So somebody that's going to a job or a Web3 conference for the first time, what do we tell them?
Yeah, you and Alex talk a lot about resume workshop and helping people, and there's no better time than then to review what your storefront looks like. For Lacey, for Brad, whomever. If somebody's going and Googling you and they're maybe not even going through the path that you're typically going to give them, what are they going to find? How are your socials looking? How is your personal website looking? If they're finding, an actual PDF resume on your personal, how does that look? These things are pieces that might make or break that first interaction with you. And so having those reviewed is kind of, it's a constant battle to be going back to those. So I would start there. The second thing that I've noticed, and there's different things, we here at ETH Denver have our badges that have, what is it? We hello.
We look.
And, that's supposed to be your connection, if you will. Everyone this week, to be frank, they've all said, give me your Telegram, give me your, your Twitter or whatnot. So make sure you have those active, available. Maybe even think, do you have a easy spelling username? Do you have, do you have your, QR code available? These things matter. I can't tell you how many times today we even had some people come in that it's just like, I couldn't find it. And it's, think of now you're in a conference hall, you're going through. So having those, things, this is a common thing when you're building a business coming up with, we laughed about that last night, how we came up with Metaintro, having an easy to spell name, something that people understand, something that is, memorable.
Yes. And then on the flip side, there were a few times over the past few days where we were trying to find a company or a company, more specifically, that had a super common name and just one of the letters was spelled differently. That's tough. So if you're building and you're going to these conferences saying, hey, I want to network, I want to find individuals that either want to build using my product, I want to come to these conferences and I want to hire, thinking a little bit through your company's name and how it's spelled, and then how you communicate that to people when you're telling them about it, is super important.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, as you're prepping, for these conferences, you're going to be in trouble here.
No, I'm going to put you in trouble.
This is going to be silent the last few. I almost want to go for that one right there, just because I think it's like, we're playing the commit. Once I commit, I have to. Oh my goodness!
You can give it a little. You can tap it though, just to.
No, that's cheating. Yeah, I don't know. We want to go there. I think I'm gonna go up top and cheat a little bit. I'm not gonna get that one.
No way.
There's no way.
No, you.
I have to play by the rules. But I mean, I'm just touching that one. That's allowed, right?
Yeah.
Even if I'm shaking it. My goodness, this is intense.
This may be the best game of Jenga you'll play all day.
It probably will be, but I think I've.
Yeah, you messed up already. You've lost.
I think I've lost. Yeah, unless. Oh no, I'm.
No, you're
I'm
done. Good.
This will be interesting if I pull this off. I mean, this is ridiculous now at this point. Oh, look at that one.
Oh my god.
I have to swing it back. Hey, at least this is suspenseful for people watching. There's no way.
Oh my god.
Ah! At least we got a good fall.
Oh my god. We can play Connect Board though.
We can. I would say for anyone that's potentially watching this and have a conference that they've enjoyed going to and maybe didn't have an opportunity for hiring, we'd love to chat with them. Please DM Lacey or I, or tag one of our moderators in Discord. We do think it's going to be an integral part of connecting people in real IRL for these types of jobs. So you mentioned the other piece of what can people do to prep for these. We had Brian Schuster on earlier that was talking about a target list. I think that's the same that kind of exists for us, is come up with a target list. And I will say myself, that's potentially, I'll say that's my first one.
Yeah.
Is it? Myself, that's done this, had this experience before. You almost sometimes want to put companies and individuals on your list that might be fringe. You're still interested. Don't meet with anybody, obviously, that you're not interested. But maybe that you're unsure about, because sometimes when you have those, you can go with an open mind and really learn, and it might surprise you.
Yep.
There's been a couple of those jobs, and so that's where coming up with your list ahead of time and even being proactive beforehand. We're going to obviously try to provide a couple tools for individuals to connect with companies ahead of time. That's obviously important. But there's no rules.
Yep.
You can DM. You can reach out.
Yep.
And especially if somebody's hiring for a role, they're usually not going to find that as taboo or a bad practice.
Yeah.
They'll be happy to connect with you.
Yeah, and that DM can be as simple as, hey, I saw you're going to be at ETH Denver as well. I'd love to meet up and learn more about your open roles. And if it's a good Web3 recruiter, they'll say, yes, absolutely. Let's meet for a quick coffee. Let's go on a quick walk together so we can chat about that. Are you cheating?
Yeah, I am.
On camera?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good way, is to craft that quick DM. And then make your hit list. And other fun ways I feel like I've seen people get creative about being prepared for these conferences. There was a girl that I met on the first day that I was here, and she actually had the QR code to her company on her shirt. And so you'll see when you go to these conferences, everybody's repping their company. Everybody's repping that swag. And so, I mean, even if, let's say, you're a job seeker, something super creative, which I haven't seen done, but I'm sure someone has thought of doing, is like putting the resume on the back of their jacket or something. How cool would that be?
It really would be. Those are the memorable times that people remember you. It makes or breaks a connection. It really does. Yeah.
And so let's say you make a connection, you connect on Telegram. What are some good practices of following up, making sure that connection goes somewhere, keeping track of it?
I would say it's funny as you're mentioning that question. It's almost, people could take this for pitching for investment. It's kind of the exact same. You want to be concise and detailed at the exact same time. So giving a one-liner of who you are and potentially why you're interested in the the role or the business. Then maybe giving some links about yourself, and then should you choose to, write a little bit more, especially if you're interesting and you're genuine. I would say that's the biggest thing that, as we have our inbox, we've hired pretty much everybody in our team through our community. The genuine emails, and we've got DMs, of course. Those are the ones that I tend to read, and I go through and really dive, because it's like somebody took the time to research the company, be specific, be interesting about the role. Sometimes quantity over quality is not the right. It can be, and it's like there's this old saying a long time ago, and who is it? I was speaking to, I forget who it was. I think it was yesterday. They were talking about their first engineering interview that they went on. It was an engineer that we know, and you bomb. I bombed my first engineering interview ever. It's just hard. It's different, if you will. So maybe if you're out there like and you're going for your first role and you've had a little bit of experience, maybe don't go for your dream company first. That might be a recommendation. Yeah. But you definitely I value quality over quantity. Okay. What are some tips that you see in terms of outreach in an email? Maybe specifics that you find either will get your attention or not.
A good subject line.
Ooh, that is a good one.
I see a lot of emails that come into my inbox that all look the same because of the subject line. And the ones that make me open them are the ones that are either super personal to me, or are very direct about what the purpose of that email is. I still open all of my emails, but the ones that call attention, not call attention, are the ones that have those specific subject lines. But not everybody opens up all of their emails. So good subject lines, well-written emails that are spell checked.
I mean, there's so many tools today that will just spell check an email, and I will tell you, it's mind-blowing. Even just like the first sentence, the first email, or excuse me, the first time you're referencing the company, you might spell it poorly. I bought Metaintro.com. I was really excited about that. I told you that.
You bought Metaintro?
Oh yeah.
Really?
If you go to, I think I have it forwarded. If you go to Metaintro.com, it goes to Metaintro, and this is all because of somebody. I might shout him out because it's searchable in Gmail. Someone called us Metaintro, and I was like, that's great. Yeah. That's cute. So, company name sounds obvious. Yeah. The spell check,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even. If you hit send and you realize something's wrong, just reply. I mean, it even shows that you took the extra effort to kind of do it. So
at these conferences, more so for the big ones, like I'm assuming Miami NFT Week will be like this, Bitcoin 2023 will be like this. There's a lot of stuff going on. You got speakers, you got booths, but the real thing, you got the side events.
Yep.
And a lot of people go to these side events because it's a more personal experience, to meet and network with other people. They're usually a little bit more fun. They're at a place, whether that's a bar or bar, I mean, really, that's like where most of them are.
A lot of bars.
Some free booze, some free food, and it's more of a chill atmosphere. Getting access to those side events, I feel like a lot of people, that's a big question mark. Like, where do I go? How do I find those lists? How did you find the list for the side events, or did I send it to you?
You sent it to me, but now having been to this one and a couple other Web3 conferences, a lot of it is just being involved in the community, because everyone is looking for adoption in Web3. Use my protocol, use my exchange, use this Web3 wallet, use this common piece of technology. If you're in their communities and you can see, especially even like maybe a banner sponsor or whatnot, because those are all announced ahead of time, you can probably just jump in their Telegram, jump in their Discord. They're probably talking about, hey, come to this party or whatnot.
Yeah.
They are looking for connections. And especially if we had a couple today that had a protocol that we said, hey, we know developers in our community are looking for new technologies. Great. They were, I'm sure they would even sponsor, a luncheon or something for that sounds so Web 2, if you will, sponsoring a luncheon. But these companies are trying to connect. So that's a phenomenal way to find some industry connections. Maybe that's, not even you're going after a specific job, but if a company, a conference is in your area, this is a great way to make some connections. You're looking at me like you've got something brewing, which you probably do.
No, I always do.
Yeah.
Yep. Another good way to find all of the side events is to go to Telegram and go to the search bar, and whatever conference you're going to, literally type in the conference name and write side events, and it'll pop up.
Yeah.
If there's a Telegram group for it, and usually there is, and somebody at that point would have taken the initiative to start the Excel sheet, that then gets passed around and then people build off of. So for ETH Denver, I think there were 2 or 3 side event lists that were circulating, and one was way more extensive than the other, and some had others that the others didn't, and so it was a matter of like bringing up the 2 that I found and going, okay, here are all of the topics that are super interesting. Here are maybe some companies that I'm interested in connecting with. Where are my friends going? And then also looking at the day of speakers and like the stuff that we're listening to, what am I also going to have the energy to go for? Because your social battery, which I've mentioned quite a few times, is so important at these conferences. It's a marathon, especially for conferences like ETH Denver where it's over a week. You want to be preserving that energy because, who knows?
It is a first impression.
It is.
You're meeting somebody for the first time, and we've had great ones where I'm sure their energy has just overwhelmed us, and we've had bad where it's just like, man, I was really excited to meet potentially even a pre-vetted person. So be cognizant of that battery. Do you think you got me? I don't know that you do. No. Yeah, no, you definitely don't.
Another thing to talk about is watching costs for these conferences, because a lot of time people are coming from out of town. They're trying to figure out where to stay. What are you doing? If you are able to get into these Telegram groups, I saw a lot of people for ETH Denver trying to find roomies for their hotels. People trying to coordinate Uber rides from the airport to the conference. And not for all events, but for this event, there were companies that were sponsoring buses to go from the airport here. How great is that?
Yeah, there is a lot of great resources, just because, again, this is an emerging industry, if you will, that there's a ton of, free shit for people to, take advantage of. This is all over the place.
I feel like you're on defense.
I do feel like I'm on defense. I don't have a ton of outs. And I know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was obvious, yeah. It's getting serious now, guys. Now you're really gonna see the competition start to...
Oh, yeah.
Did you get me?
This is, yet again, Lacey 2.
You did
Brad
get me.
0.
Wait, how'd you get 2?
Because I won Jenga.
Oh, you did win Jenga. I forgot.
It's okay.
Well, this was fun.
Yeah.
Give me your favorite of today as we close out.
As we close out...
close out 10 hours of podcasting?
Literally 10 hours of podcasting. What a great way to meet a ton of people building really cool things.
I love that you gave me... I
gave you no context until you was here.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
It's so much better to just, it's exactly what I was saying earlier. Sometimes put those fringe people on. Yeah. You learn a lot.
Yeah.
You're a little bit more attentive. Because you don't know anything. So.
Yeah, I learned a lot of stuff today too. Something that we talked about at this conference over the past few days, because the first half was the build-a-thon, and now we're going into the actual conference itself. There's a lot of stuff that, like, as someone who's non-technical, I literally have no idea what they're talking about. I want to know.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here, because I want to learn. And so, like, having these one-on-one conversations with these individuals that are I didn't know what liquid staking was.
Yeah. Well, I didn't either, and I'm technical.
I'm like, what? So it's great having these conversations. So overall, today was amazing for us, at least for me, to be able to learn new concepts that are happening in Web3, meet people that are building cool shit. And,
Absolutely.
you know.
Yeah. I'll always close out with this. Be working on something when you're doing this. It could be yourself. It could be you're working on upping your game, writing. It could be, obviously, if you're an engineer, working on a little side project. Having new, interesting things that you're leveling up on and immersing yourself either in your own, way of, going about it, or in new technologies or new, if we're talking Web3 protocols. It's so much more interesting to talk about the new and something that's fresh in your mind and something that you're kind of like, it also as a hiring, manager, it helps people give a sense of how you problem solve and go through some things. So constantly be improving. I'll always say that. Just try to be vulnerable as you're, kind of getting, growing your career. That's what we're all doing. I mean, I can't, some of the most senior people I know that are even the best are still trying to grow their career in some way, shape, or form. So it never ends.
Yep.
It never ends.
So we will see you at the next conference, which is super exciting. Again, IWB at the end of March. We will link everything in the description below. But come ready, and if you have any questions, our Discord's always open. You can chat any of the admins. All questions are welcome. We want you to come prepared. We want you to be successful at these events. That's why we're doing them. And if we don't hear from you before then, we'll see you in Washington.
Bye, friends.